And we are recording. Hello, and welcome back to the third episode of the Big TARDIS Joyride. We don't seem to have Brian with us, slash Atticus. I hope she'll be able to turn up. I've sent her a few messages, but if not, we'll just work around it. We did it at the end of the last session, so it wasn't a big deal. Speaking of which, does anyone want to do a recap for me, or shall I do the quick cliff notes?
Do them so well.
Oh, thank you. So, in your desire to hunt for an olive tree, you found yourselves in ancient China, and you bumped into a Chinese emperor on the lookout for an elixir of immortality. Slight issue, Atticus does remember that this emperor is meant to die on this trip, and you're not sure whether you're here to help that happen or to prevent it as a result, because time travel's a bit weird like that.
We're not sure if we're meant to cause it or if we're meant to leave before it happens.
Precisely.
Or if we're meant to witness it.
And to make things worse, you are now impersonating the Jade Emperor.
That I am.
Yes.
Making things worse, it's making things better.
Yes.
I know.
And providing the Emperor with assertiveness and trying to push him forward through this, basically.
This is just giving me ample experience for when I eventually inevitably have to impersonate the God of Thunder.
When we eventually go to Norway, of course. Pardon me. So, you were taken towards. So, what happened is when you landed and you started talking with the Emperor, the TARDIS started getting all funky. It was like stuck halfway between trying to leave and trying to stay.
I think we did establish that there's something here that will help to stabilize part of the lock.
Well, they commented that the fabled elixir of immortality looks the same. It has the same affect to it, basically. It's also in that state. So clearly it's like the two are calling out to each other across the distance.
Oh, you see, that was not apparent to me last
I
time.
didn't say it in those exact words, but they are in some way intrinsically linked. So therefore, bringing them together will probably fix the TARDIS.
Sorry if I start making weird noise. I do have a blister on my thumb.
Perfectly
that I now
fine. I've
regret
got pretty
popping.
bad blisters on my feet because I've been walking a lot recently.
I
Anyway,
popped this one
ooh,
because
don't
I
say
didn't
anymore.
have-
No, that's very gross.
Nope.
So anyway, after you agreed to go with the Emperor to go look for this elixir, you found a small island in the middle of a large river, which was being guarded by basically a Chinese water dragon.
Which my character established should not be able to survive.
It literally biologically should not be able to live off of the fish that exist in the river, basically.
Oh, can you guys remind me what site I was using to roll my dice?
I think you can just use Google or you can use Roll20 or whatever.
Roll20 was not the one, actually.
I don't know that.
What?
I personally have physical dice because of all the dice I got. So
Yeah, good for you. I don't.
well, this is what happens when you play too much D&D. You start hoarding dice.
Roll a die. That was no. That's not the one either. D&D dice roller. Yes, this is the one.
Cool.
Isla is a dice dragon confirmed.
Maybe. Anyway, I'm definitely not considering making a dragon deck now that I've got a 5-color Niv-Mizzet. Anyway.
Sky, why did you say that?
It was already in my mind, don't worry about it. Anyway. So, after making that
I need to
assessment...
open my character sheet.
It should...
There we go.
Yeah, cool. After you made that assessment, you realised that you could distract the creature, since it was detecting vibrations to work.
You are going to help me update my experiences later.
Yeah, we can do that another time. It's fine, don't worry about it.
Okay.
We will do experiences like between chapters because that just feels like the better way of doing it, unless anyone
Okay.
really badly wants to increase.
I think
their
you
stats.
probably told me that last time too.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyway, so after realizing that vibrations are what affects the creature, you set off a giant fireworks display basically while sending out like a dozen boats at once to try and make it harder for it to attack you and the Emperor specifically because you all rode in the same boat. Some of you took a few bruises, but otherwise it was okay. And you managed to get to the other side pretty safely, all things considered. And at the top of this small island, you noticed that it had a lot of fauna that isn't local for that time period, as if it was an island untouched by history, essentially. And at the very top was a monument that, with some biological hacking, you managed to open up, and it revealed a elevator which you stepped on, and that was the last thing that happened.
What were they called again? Silurians?
Yes, so it is
Making
Yes.
sure.
it is a Silurian base. The Silurians are a species that predate humanity. They were
I
around
think
during the
they
era
own
of the
the planet.
dinosaurs, basically.
They believe that they own the planet, but then the doctor was like, "Hey, that's not fair. There's another dominant species on this planet now. You can't just claim the whole thing for
Also,
yourself. You
that's
gotta
not how
share."
ownership works.
Yeah.
Don't put people in people's head that we can do alien colonialism.
Yeah, it's just like, well, we owned it first, and the
It's like,
doctor was like,
you
"Yeah,
can't
but
you
kind
can't
of
call
set it down.
you can't call dibs on a planet. That's not how that works. Yeah.
You gave another species time to evolve to a
Yeah.
point where they became the dominant
Like-
species. That's on you."
Like, you decided to sleep through the meteorite that killed the dinosaurs. It's not
You
their
slept
fault
a
that
little
you.
bit too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, who wants to go underground?
Well, you're already traveling at this point because you all stepped on the elevator.
We're all on the elevator.
So you're currently
Unfortunately, it's not the elevator to heaven, it's the elevator to the depths of the planet.
So you're currently descending through a cylindrical rocky tunnel, basically. You can still see the opening above, but it's sealed back up when you started going down, basically. So
My character is obviously having to hide his excitement at meeting another species because, as Jade Emperor, he can't really.
So
Yeah.
inside, you're still traveling. To be clear, it's clear that this elevator is going to take a while. You don't exactly have a nice display telling you how much further it is, but you imagine it's pretty far down. Luckily, it's not pitch black. There are periodic lights embedded into the wall, basically, so that you're able to at least see your general surroundings. But it looks like basically it's just an elevator shaft, essentially, like in a mining operation. So, yeah. The Emperor, of course, is both mystified and quite a bit nervous about all this, looking around like, is the elixir going to be at the end, or what is this strange contraption?
Is anyone gonna
Anyone going to explain, or just leave him in
Just
shock?
stone cold silence?
that-
Like, give him a look. It's like, you mean you don't know?
I just kind of glance over to him and I'm like, don't worry about it. It's not going to be important for a very, very, very long time.
Okay. I'll say I haven't actually pulled
Well,
out
actually,
the thing yet. Sorry, you carry on, Laura. I'm just grabbing a thing.
I was gonna say there might have been similar things that would have been used for building very tall structures. Only it would have been like more
It'd be
based
pulley
on
based, and it wouldn't be
pulley
like
based.
and it wouldn't be like this by any means, especially not the lighting setup, because it's clearly much more advanced than what is currently common of the era. I would like. Who was the one who made the comment? Oh, it was you, wasn't it, Laura? So,
Yeah.
could you roll for me
Comment on what?
what you haven't seen these before, basically?
I was
Yeah,
that wasn't so much meant to be an out loud comment, so much as like conveyed in a look.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, no worries then. Does anyone
I was
actually
the
want
one
to
that said
say
they
anything?
won't be relevant for a very, very long time.
Okay, I would like you to do a present and convince roll for me.
I'm going to have to remember how to do all of
You
that.
add the two numbers together, and then you roll 2d6s, and then you add.
Oh
up
wait,
the
those are some of my highest stats. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's
plus
gonna
10
be
and then 2d6.
yeah. It's contested against the Emperor's stats, basically.
19. I rolled a 6 and a 3.
My
Blimey.
lowest stat.
I think I've knocked this out of the water.
Yep, you're fine. The Emperor also rolled a 9, but obviously he doesn't have stats as high as yours. So the Emperor just sort of nods slowly. Clearly, your disguise is still perfect, and you look every bit the Jade Emperor. So he just takes you at your word. If he's not meant to understand it, fine, fair enough, sure, whatever you say.
All I know is that the path is different for
Just a second.
All I know is that the path is different for everyone.
There is a little bit of anxiety about quite how long this journey is going to take. And
And how far down we're gonna get.
yeah, like the seconds very quickly start turning to minutes, and you're wondering if you're going to be in here for hours potentially. Do any of you want to try and work out if you can determine how far down you need to go, or are you going to just try and pass the time?
I just get out my yo-yo and start playing with it.
I will, I guess, try. I don't imagine that'll be going very well. What do I have to roll?
Awareness and
Danny would-
transport. I think I want
Danny's
you to roll
gonna do
this
the
bad.
same.
No, you can do it as well, but I want to see Liaris try.
So that would be a +2. I rolled another 6 and another 3.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, I rolled another 6 and another 3
Okay.
for a total of 11.
And Danny?
13 with 1-1.
So I rolled a 6. You rolled a 1.
So, Danny, you would normally be really good at this, but for some reason you just can't identify anything. Honestly, it just looks too basic for you to wrap your head around. Basically, it's too simple.
I'm gonna try and figure it out as well.
Yeah, go ahead. Awareness and
The
transport.
other two have failed.
What about me?
Oh, that's quite good. 5 and a 5, and then that's 16 total.
16, blimey.
Yeah.
You were 13, yeah?
I
Eliara?
was 11, but I
Oh,
rolled a 6.
11, but you rolled 9 in total. Okay.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you're about as lost as Danny. Even though, like, you can tell that, like, there's these tracks running along the side. That's what's like, because of the smooth nature of the walls and the lighting setup, it's clearly not running on rails or anything. It's literally hovering. So it must be some sort of advanced technology that allows the disc to just hover perfectly as it drifts downwards. Like, you can't feel the vibrations. It's a perfect smooth ride.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Nia, as someone who does quite a lot of engineering, you've worked out what's going on. It's essentially using air convection currents in the Earth's core. So it's just using heat, essentially, and by lowering the temperature very gradually, that's what's making the disc lower, and then they can push you back. They will eventually push people back up by releasing a hot blast of air, essentially. Using that, you can make a rough calculation in your head to determine that you're probably about a tenth of the way there, and you've been traveling for about 5 minutes at this point.
Okay. Someone that's good at maths, do this math for me, because Nia is good at maths and I am
That
not.
is slightly less
How
than
many
a full
minutes
hour.
would there likely be
That is
left?
slightly
Yeah,
less than a full
50
hour.
minutes, so just under an hour.
Okay, so I share that, and I'm like, we have about 50 minutes left before we reach the bottom.
45 minutes left.
45.
We've been going on for a tenth of the way already.
Yeah.
So there's only 45 minutes left.
The Emperor's a little concerned by this information, and is like, so, are we descending to an afterlife of some kind? It would make sense with the immortality and all, but to think.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, we're not going quite that deep, thankfully. Not quite that deep. However, there might be beings that are reminiscent of demons down there.
There's a bit of a pale look on the Emperor's face, given that he's had attacks on his life already. But he
No, and I look at him and I'm like, you did expect that there would be such dangers in the quest for immortality, yes?
The Emperor's obviously nods solemnly, and he goes, since it's going to be a while, if it's all right with all of you, I think I'd like to meditate until we reach our final destination. And he goes over to a corner.
That is very wise.
Corner of the platform, basically, and sits down cross-legged, closing his eyes and entering a state of deep thought, essentially. Basically, you're all free to like whisper amongst yourselves, and he probably won't notice because
I mean,
he's
we do have the
We-
telepathy.
I mean, we
like,
yeah.
going
even
on
without the
there.
telepathy is my point. But yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's up to you what you want to do for this leg of the journey. Basically, if you want to do anything at all, or if you all just want to
I
just
do
zone
make it
out.
quite. I am now going to make it quite apparent that I'm excited to meet some Silurians.
So exciting about it. They're just lizards. I mean, I suppose there might have been some fascinating plants they could have preserved from back then.
They're bipedal lizards with advanced technology. Well, not as advanced, but you know what I mean when I say advanced. Like consider humans of this era and at what point they're at, and then imagine the Silurians, how they must have evolved if they were around in the time of the dinosaurs.
Does someone want to perform one of the following? Ingenuity and either medicine, science, or survival. Your choice.
I'll
You said
do.
ingenuity and
Medicine, science, or survival of your choice.
I'll do ingenuity and
science.
science.
I'll do ingenuity and survival.
Go ahead.
Ingenuity and science for me.
Okay.
That would be a +7,
Well,
a 5, and a 4
Mhm.
for a total of 16.
Mm-hmm.
Total of 17.
Mm-hmm.
A total of 14, but I do have a 6.
So all of you together have come to the same conclusion, basically. You talk amongst yourselves as you're theorizing. But because of the dragon you've seen before, clearly whatever's down here is still operating. Whether that's a computer running running by itself, or someone manning it directly to make people stay away from the island.
How are we going to deal with the Spyroons when we meet them?
That is the other thing, is if they're able to create a beast like that, what's to say there isn't going to be more things like that once you get there?
Like, to be fair, they have beef with no, Nia wouldn't say beef. They have trouble with the humans, but like, why would they care about us? We're not human.
Worst case scenario, we've got tasers, don't we?
Yeah, but like the issue is if the Emperor dies down here underground where the history books will never you know
Well, that's another thing. I'm gonna do Atticus's stuff for them.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you would because this history stuff is
Yeah, like I'll just do that in the background as need to be. So this is going to be what do I think? Awareness and history thing, so awareness and knowledge. It's +10. It would also be a biology thing potentially if you wanted to give it a try as well.
yes, please.
Awareness and knowledge with biology, or whatever it is, like a science for you, I imagine.
What is the bonus for biology?
+2.
So that's 7, and you said awareness?
Yeah.
That's a +9. Shit.
What'd you get?
A 1 and a 5 for a total of 15.
Yeah, you do have at least a decent understanding about Solarians, like you know how their biology works and stuff, but you don't know much about them as a society, as a civilization, due to the fact that they've spent so much time in hibernation. There isn't much information on them. However, Atticus's history knowledge does extend to the small fragments of Silurian history that has cropped up. And the main thing Atticus points out is Silurians tend to have a very big caring for preservation of life more than anything. Like, including cataloguing life. Like, literally living specimens in stasis.
Dream come true.
So, stuff that was alive when they first were on the Earth might be down here for all you know.
I need to see it.
Like plants.
Well, not just plants, animals too.
Yeah, but Nia
I
don't care
need to
about
see
the
it.
animal.
Well, true, the plants, yes.
I must see.
So yeah. Um,
So if our emperor here was to be kept down here,
Would that
is
be
that a... What would that do to the history? Like, would they just assume he went missing and therefore died?
he died on the trip. He never returned to the palace.
I mean, yeah, I think if he vanished, they probably just assume he's dead and go home without him. That would be history preserved.
Especially if we were to leave without him.
Well, the
You
main
can
thing is, unless you have a way to call the TARDIS, obviously, you'll need to leave the way you came in.
Hmm.
Well, hopefully there's something in here that like makes the dragon thing ignore you because they wouldn't want the dragon thing to attack their own people.
Presumably, it has some sort of off switch, yeah, because otherwise they'd never be able to leave the island either. If you want, I could
Unless
have
they don't
Atticus
want
do another
to.
history check, by the way, concerning the island.
Sure.
I'm gonna have Atticus spend a story point for that, just because, like, this is a very specific check. In fact, I'll do it with advantage, just to be nice. That is a 20, which is pretty damn high. Yeah, sure, that'll be high enough. I'd say the main thing that Atticus is aware of is the fabled Elixir of Immortality wasn't always on this island. It was somewhere else, and then the Silurians must have transported it to the island, basically.
Interesting.
Which means there is a way to move it, which is the most important thing. It's not stuck here unless they've done something to stick it here, basically.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Could this elixir be... There's a fable from home where an adventurer goes to this cave to get immortality, but the immortality only exists in the cave. Could this be a case of that?
Interesting theory.
I suppose if you're frozen by Solarians, that's a kind of immortality.
Well,
Stasis, yeah.
also the component, whatever the immortality elixir is connected to the TARDIS, so it could be connected to temporal technology.
Well, if it's connected to temporal technology, the Silurians shouldn't have it. We need to.
Yeah, if it's Gallifreyan in nature, I don't think that it should be left here in their care.
I guess we're being the time police.
Would Nia and Danny like to try and roll to see and work out what the item might be, given the fact it might be related to TARDIS technology?
Sure.
It would be ingenuity and either technology or transport. I will say now, this is going to be a very difficult check. If you want to use a story point, this would be the time.
15.
Ingenuity and either technology or transport, you said, right?
Yes, and if you want to use a story point, you can roll 4 dice instead of 2 to roll with advantage.
Why not? You're gonna hate me.
Go on.
Double 6.
Okay. Total is?
20.
Okay. Well, that
Natural 20.
is a critical success, basically. So, while you have some idea, Nia, unfortunately, like, temporal technology is, like, actually, it is temporal technology. Did you add the bonus for that?
Oh, no, I didn't. That would be
17, because it's plus 2.
17.
Yeah. So, you have pretty sure it's got to do something to do with the dematerialization system. Given the fact that the TARDIS is stuck in a state between coming and going, basically. But the exact component it's related to, you're not quite sure of, because there's a lot of different interlocking systems that deal with specifically taking off.
And also, we haven't actually seen it.
Yeah, exactly. You've never actually seen what it looks like or how big it is or anything. All you know is it can be transported, which isn't a very big. Basically, it's not the Eye of Harmony. That's about all you can tell.
The what?
It's the thing that powers the TARDIS, basically.
Mm.
I'll show you that episode at some point. It's a Clara episode, but it's a good one.
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't hear that. I don't hear those particular words in that particular order.
It's
very
because
often.
it's a Matt Smith one, not a Capaldi one.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Danny, because you fly the TARDIS, you are a little bit more familiar with dematerialization. You know that what this is specifically the system required to be able to take off and basically avoid causing an explosion to the surrounding area. Because obviously it takes an immense amount of energy to move a ship through space and time.
And also the fact that immediately displacing an object from a particular point in space would cause all of the molecules of air that should exist there to collide as they all work to fill the empty space.
Yeah, so basically, it's the thing that stops a nuke going off when a TARDIS leaves.
It's the thing that stops Barry Allen from basically exploding everything behind him whenever he runs.
So you can tell, you don't know exactly which part it is, but you can tell it must be a part to do with that, and that must be the reason why the Silurians locked it down here, is because, obviously, that's a nuke waiting to happen. And they just don't want anyone to accidentally touch it and blow up, I don't know, half a country or something.
Yes, we should definitely take it off their hands.
I mean, will they let us take this off? Because it's, I believe it's one of the most dangerous parts of the ship.
Like, it's worth mentioning that Atticus can tell that it must have been transported somewhere in the range of hundreds to thousands of years ago. Given the fact that there is recorded human history of people seeing it being transported, basically.
Well, it's not a case of them letting us. We're Time Lords. We have a right to this technology that they, as being still stuck to a linear path, don't.
I think also it's a matter of they might not even be using it. They may just genuinely be keeping it on lockdown to prevent, damage to the
And the
surrounding
best
area.
way
You
to
just-
prevent damage
you
to
just
the
be the
surrounding
pickup
area
crew
is
that
for
takes
us
it off their
to take
planet
it
so it
away.
doesn't blow up their planet.
Well,
I
yeah,
imagine once I've gotten a good look at it, I can figure out how to make it not explode.
to be fair, they might be more than happy for you to take it off their hands. For
They
all
might
you
be
know.
glad to be rid of the thing.
Exactly.
Oh, a bunch of Gallifreyans have come to take this Gallifreyan nuke off of our hands. Thank you. It's about goddamn time.
Like, at this point, you clearly put two and two together. Why do you think they put a dragon outside? It's a guard dog. Don't come in, there's a nuke under here. And it would also explain why the lift is so long as well, to prevent anyone accidentally digging to find it.
I am gonna have words with them about that dragon, by the way.
Good words or bad words?
I wonder if a nuke went off.
A
so
mix of
that's how
both.
it's
Congrats on creating the creature, but y'all better be treating that thing with the utmost of care, based on how much it's probably suffering being in an environment that it is not designed to be able to thrive in.
Anyway, sorry, Laura, you were trying to say, I think.
Just wondering what a nuke going off would do to the ecosystem above.
Do you want to do a roll to see if you can work out how much damage it would cause?
Sure.
I can at least say
In
that a very
ingenuity
large
and
number of plants
science.
would go extinct.
So actually,
What was that?
either ingenuity or science or ingenuity and survival if other people want to give it a shot.
Science. Does it count as botany?
Ingenuity and science, you said.
It would be a physics thing, not a biology
Okay.
thing. Either
No,
science
but
or either science or survival of your choice.
Well, that's
Yes, but
that's
survival
the-
is a 4, science is a 5, so I'm obviously going to go with science.
Okay,
so that's a 5. And you said ingenuity, so that's a 7.
that's a 1 and a 2.
Okay.
So,
Total of.
That's a 4 and a 1, total of 12.
Okay, totals, please.
12.
Okay.
I got 15 with a 6.
Okay. So, unfortunately, like, It's clearly on a pretty massive scale, but both Londo and Nia are like, I don't know, pretty big, I guess. Like, you've never had to try and work out what a nuke looks like, especially this far underground is the main issue. Like, it's easier to visualize on the surface level, but like this far down, no idea. Meanwhile, Danny, you can run the calculations. If this were to explode, China wouldn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's a good job they've got the nuke at the... Hopefully they're protecting it well.
Like, it would cause an explosion so massive, there would be a tectonic plate shift.
We're talking a nuke that's so powerful. The country we're in,
Okay, let me
Right
ask.
now.
Let me ask this. Let me ask this.
yeah.
Would it cause a tectonic plate shift, or would it completely remove a chunk from a tectonic plate?
It would create a new fault line.
Okay, so it would completely shatter a tectonic plate in half, effectively.
Pretty much.
No pressure then.
Yeah, you know, that would only cause earthquakes for about a quarter of the planet and probably form new volcanoes.
No pressure.
It's
Are
on
we
land though,
near-
so
Are we
Well,
near
it's-
the Ring of Fire, by the way?
The only
I don't know where that is, sorry.
No, sorry.
just the entirety of humanity's future in the balance.
I just know that there's a thing called the Ring of Fire that is like, basically a strange ring where if you look at it on like an overview map,
Mm.
there's basically a whole bunch of volcanoes that effectively form
Fair. I think that's probably... I don't know where that is, but I know what you mean. The other thing that's of note, actually, is if any of you are familiar, Japan actually suffers from earthquakes a lot due to where they are on the fault lines. So most likely...
Japan would probably cease to exist
Yes,
after that.
most likely, every country surrounding China will be irreversibly changed forever.
We're talking Germany, Russia.
Germany's too far away, but Russia, yes.
Oh, well,
India.
You're Russia, Korea.
India,
Korea.
Japan.
I think
India,
India's too far away.
India might be too far away. New Zealand might be affected as well. But yeah,
Oh,
They'd
well,
be affected by the
definitely be
tsunamis that would
affected.
be
They'll be hit
formed.
by the tsunamis.
yeah, probably
Related from the
Yeah.
earthquake.
probably Australia as well, potentially, even if only a bit. Yeah, it would.
Which
Yeah,
would mean
the upper like third at least, I think.
It would
of
Australia reshape the entire Eastern Hemisphere, basically.
Yes, that.
So, understandably, Atticus is mortified at that possibility.
Oh, we weren't the ones that put it there.
But yeah,
Actually, that's a point. How did it get there then? Especially if this is potentially tied to our TARDIS. Wait.
You
Does
know, I'm
that mean we
starting-
accidentally...
okay.
Well,
Did we accidentally blow up our classroom when we took off?
They can deal with an explosion.
Well, they'll know we're gone.
I have a
Danny,
very
do you want to
different
do an awareness and either technology or transport check on that?
Sure.
I mean, out of character, I think I've already come up with a theory, but
Is this to do with flying the TARDIS, or do I not get the bonus?
Taking off, basically. So yeah.
Alright. So that's 11. $19 with a 6.
There are probably burn marks where the TARDIS used to be.
but we didn't blow up the thing.
It was a
so-
TARDIS bay, it wouldn't have blown up the whole room. Because obviously...
So my question, or my theory, which is not in character by the way, because I don't know if my character would be able to put this together. I'm thinking that the components required to unlock the TARDIS's inhibitor,
autonomy
just-
inhibitor, yeah.
yeah, we're just basically hidden on different planets in different time periods. That's my theory.
I don't know if they would have had a key to start with. Like, I don't know.
All you know is it's locked. You don't know if necessarily these are keys or just...
Ways to break.
Or basically they're spare parts that could function as keys. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I think we left some scorch marks when we left, so they definitely know we left.
To be fair,
And then
they
keep
probably
TARDIS
notice a
with
missing
it.
TARDIS as well.
No, but our entire reason for taking this was pop it back a second later, no one will notice.
I mean, if you pop it back a little bit, a few seconds later, you just have to clean up the burn marks.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
easy is it to clean up burn marks, though?
Guess you'll find out.
I'll figure it out. Subterfuge. I need to do a roll.
I go for it.
I'm gonna go for. I'm thinking ingenuity and subterfuge.
What are you trying to do?
Figure out the ease of the task of leaving no trace
Sure, go
after
ahead.
the joyride.
Yep, go ahead, go ahead.
There, I'm using my +2 bonus for stealth.
Yep, sure.
That's 6 plus 2 is 8. So that's a +8.
Mhm.
I might have to use a story point for this.
Go for it. Rolling with advantage?
Yeah,
Go for
just
it.
because I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Yeah, go for it.
Now I rolled a 5 and a 4.
There we go.
So for a total of 17.
So that's pretty good.
So I now have to edit my story points down to 3 because I just had to use 1.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. We basically know that it would take a bit of elbow grease and not an inconsiderable amount of cleaning materials, basically. But you could probably get it done in like an hour or so with everyone working together.
I relay this information.
Like, the main benefit is if you park the TARDIS exactly where you left it, it'll cover up most of the burn marks anyway.
I relay this information.
Okay, cool. Sorry, out of character, I find it quite funny that we've been doing this for like 40 minutes now and still haven't got out of the lift.
Like,
No,
so
you're right. We've done this for 40 minutes now. Let's get to the bottom.
yeah, you've now travelled for most of an hour. I will. This is a reference that Laura's not going to get. This is the scene from Volume 5 of Ruby where Cinder, Raven, and Banal are in the elevator heading down to the vault.
Let's not.
It is. It just is.
No, let's not. No. But I still find that entire situation to be a massive plot hole because how did everyone get out of that alive?
I mean, Banal didn't.
No, not what I meant. I meant why didn't she die on the way down?
Yeah.
Why was Cinder patient enough to wait until they got to the bottom?
Because the maiden had to touch the vault to open the vault.
Okay, but she
We
could
have
have
been
stolen her
forewarned.
maiden powers on the way down.
Anyway, no more out of game talk. I was only making a funny comment. Anyway, so you do finally stop, and you stopped with a boom. Like there is a sound when it clicks into place at the final level.
I mean, to be fair, it was lowering through convection, and therefore it would, land.
You think it would? You think it would hiss more than anything?
Clearly, they've engineered it quite well. The exhaust vents must carry out the excess steam or something.
I'm just saying it would at least thunk.
Yeah, there's a definite.
hits the ground.
There is a definite thunk. Like
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like
I'm
it's
just saying it would be obvious that there would be a thunk because based on the way that it's being lowered, like even when you let's say you set something down,
Yeah.
there's still a noise when it hits the
Yeah,
tank,
yeah,
no
yeah,
matter
of
how
course.
gently.
Yeah, it's very much if this is picked up on my mic.
Like, okay, Sky, pick up one of your dice. Now
Yep.
set it down as gently as you can. There was still a noise.
Yeah.
Very little. Like if I was to instead set it down on my dice, less noise.
It's also a platform with however many people
Okay,
there are on it.
okay.
Which is a lot
You
heavier than
can't
a
place it down on a bit of foam because, again,
Yes, I get your
temperature's
point.
being piped in.
Anyway.
Temperature's being piped
Yes.
in from the planet's core.
Liara,
Let's
we're on a
move
time
on.
limit. We're on a time limit. We've only got an hour and a bit left.
Sorry.
It's alright.
Actually, less than an hour.
Less
Oh,
than-
wait, no, about an hour.
Yeah. I'm keeping track. Anyway, so we get to the bottom, and the thunk does wake the Emperor up. So,
Was he having a nap? Was he snoring?
well, no, he wasn't.
No, he was meditating.
He was in deep meditation. So yeah. So he's a bit jolted, but he's like, "Oh, have we finally arrived?"
Apparently.
Yes, we have.
Do any of you basically want to do a perception check to see what you see now that you're at the bottom?
What are...
I think
It's awareness and intuition is basically perception.
Um,
Doing one now.
Awareness and intuition. That's a 4.
13.
Daddy does not see shit.
I rolled a 1 and a 2. It's a 7. So yeah, no.
Okay.
I got 10 with a 1.
Okay.
Daddy
and
sees shit.
Nia?
13 with neither 6 or 1.
Let's do one for Atticus for the hell of it. Oh shit, that's really good.
Okay, thank goodness at least one of us rolled
An
well.
18 from Nia, double 5 plus 8.
You
Good
said
thing.
from Nia.
Sorry, from Nia. Sorry, from
Uh-huh.
Atticus. Blair Woods.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. I've been doing this a lot lately. I'm just really bad at names recently. I think it's just because I've been in a bit of a state. Anyway, Atticus is like, well, it looks like there are several tunnels. This must be some sort of hub point throughout the base. I think there's a panel over there. If I'm not any good with technology, does someone want to have a try and look at that? Maybe there's a map for the area, so we don't have to just walk around aimlessly.
Well, I'm not good with technology either. I would
I'll have a look at
probably-
it.
I mean, you're decently okay at hacking, so you could at least try that if it's.
Oh,
locked.
actually, yeah. I want to do my hacking shit.
Yeah, go for it.
Alright.
Okay, so what's the bonus for an experience?
Let me double check the book because it has been a while since I've
I
done
know
this.
it'd be subterfuge, but I need to know what my experience bonus would be.
Yeah, I'm on it. Ugh. Well, it's biological hacking and solar to use biological technology, so that works. Give me a moment. I just need to find.
Oh well, that would be my science then, not my subterfuge.
No, you're using subterfuge. Well, it's your choice basically, but yeah.
Mm.
But subterfuge is used for like hacking,
Hacking.
so it would be subterfuge really.
Mm.
Is it? Is it further in? Is that what I'm missing? Technology levels. That's transport stuff. That's way too far in. Sorry, I'm trying to find it.
Sorry for holding up the game, but I do have an experience that
No,
Well,
it's fine.
it's important to know what an experience does.
Like I know it does something, I just can't remember off the top of my head. So I'm just trying to, because this is the thing that wasn't covered in the starter set, so I've not actually done this much ever. So, oh my god, where the fuck is it?
I remember you vaguely explained it to me before we started all of this, but that was months ago.
Yeah,
so...
no, it's totally fine. I'll find it. It's just surprising I can't. Okay, that's too far, so it's before that one. Okay, narrow down.
Control F.
I can't. It's a physical book. Although I do have a PDF copy.
Say out loud, Control F.
do a real Zoomer moment. Just shout at my book. Okay, there we go. Finally got to the experience section. Okay. Recalling an experience gives you an extra D6 when attempting to make a roll.
Really?
Yep.
Well, damn, I'm about to nail this one, aren't I?
Oh, you're gonna love this even more.
Mm.
It also makes the experience now worth 2 experience.
What?
Because you're recalling it, it strengthens it in your mind.
Oh, so I get more experience points or whatever?
It doubles itself, basically. It's now worth double points for that experience of hacking.
Alright, so what is my dice roll exactly? 3d6 with a plus what?
3d6 in coordination and subterfuge.
Oh, really? Wow, okay, that's a plus 8 right there. Okay, so 3d6 with a plus 8.
Yep, go for it.
Guy has a
I rolled
point.
1, a
Yes,
3,
yes,
a 4.
shush. I got
rolled one
post-it
and a
notes, so I was using them to find the page.
I rolled a 1, a 3, and a 4 for a total of 16.
Up to you if you
I'm
want to use
willing
a
to use a
story
story
point.
if I have to.
I think that's a pretty low roll, so I think I would, especially because you got a 1, I would re-roll that personally.
All
Yeah.
right, so I am editing my story points back down to 2 now.
Mm-hmm. We'll go over recovering story points after the recording.
All right, so what do? I just re-roll all of these?
Yeah, just re-roll all 3. If you want, you can.
Oh, holy shit!
What'd you get?
2 6s,
Okay.
a 2,
Okay.
for a total of 22.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Okay, that story point was well.
No,
spent.
that was very well spent. You know what? I'm going to give you back that. I'm going to refund that story point
Okay.
for that genuinely because I think that's worthy of because
Thank you.
story points are refunded when you do something important in the narrative, basically. Like you save someone who's dying, that sort of thing.
I need to screenshot this.
anyway, before you get distracted, so although you're not familiar with this sort of interface, it's not too dissimilar to stuff that you've done on Gallifrey. So even though you don't understand the base language, it doesn't take you too long to work out that it's some sort of password system. So you do a little bit of fiddling around. You do what you did before. You grab some moss off the wall nearby, basically, and use it to cover your fingers, so that it recognizes you as Silurian, because that's the main thing.
Yeah.
So after a few presses, it explodes into a 3D projection that shows the layout of the base, essentially. Does anyone want to do a check to see if they can understand what they're looking at, basically?
Tell me the check for that.
It would be awareness and... Let's go with knowledge, because it's basically an architecture check.
Sure.
I mean, I'll do a roll, but I ain't gonna roll high.
I mean, Danny, always curious. So...
I'll let Atticus roll, because Atticus got plus 10.
I have a 0 in knowledge, so that's only a plus 2.
15.
Yeah,
for
I
me.
rolled a 6, a 2, total of 10, so that's not gonna do anything.
What's everyone's...
15 for me, including a 6.
Okay, and...
10 for me, including a 1.
Liaris, what was yours?
Total 10 with a 6 and a 2.
Okay. Atticus got a 15, but with a 1, so I would say that Nia got it, basically. You're able to make heads or tails of this because, for example, you know how to navigate a TARDIS engine room. You're used to complicated schematics. So, I was going to say, actually, if anything, Danny should probably roll with disadvantage.
Yeah. I mean, I get lost in a TARDIS because I don't understand the TARDIS layout and it keeps changing. So...
It's not as complicated as interdimensional architecture. Like the TARDIS, so you can understand it relatively well. It seems to be some sort of archive, some sort of storage silo, essentially. It's organized in a relatively simple index system. You're not sure exactly how they index it, but it's clearly some sort of, Dewey Decimal-like system for Silurians, basically. Everything has a place, and they move things around accordingly to keep it in that order. You're currently in the central transport hub, and from here you can access anywhere you're like equidistant to every point of the base, essentially. Like you're in the very center of it. If you want to beeline for the Immortality Elixir, basically, I will allow that, but I would require a additional check, essentially, for that.
Are you talking to me for any of that?
I'm talking to
Just if
everyone
I-
in general. Like,
Then I was not listening, I'm sorry.
basically, it's a map, it's a storage system, it's a catalogue. If you can decipher the language at least a bit, you can probably pin down where the elixir is, essentially.
What do I have to roll?
It would be awareness and either knowledge, because it's a language-based thing, science, or subterfuge.
Well, I'm going with science because I'm a 5 in that. So that's a 7.
Wow, that's not good.
I doubt that I can use my biology.
No, would not allow
because
that.
it's more of a culture thing than a biology.
Yeah. I'll have Atticus do it too, because Atticus is good at language stuff. Well, not language, but yeah.
I'm debating if Danny should do it because Danny's seeing the map is like, what?
I'd
I'm very
also
upset right now.
allow craft instead, since it's an architecture thing.
I'm very upset right now.
What you get?
I got a 13.
Critical fail.
Oh, yikes.
2 1s.
I'm gonna roll 3 and I'm gonna knock the highest. And I wish I didn't because the highest one was a 6.
What are people's results so far?
I got a 13 with a 1.
9
Was
with
it a-
2 1s.
Was it awareness you said or ingenuity?
Awareness with
Awareness.
either craft, knowledge, or subterfuge. I think I said. I might have also said science. You had a
You
lot
said
of
science
You-
and subterfuge.
Yeah.
7,
I literally used
16.
16 with any 1s or 6s?
Nope, because I rolled 3 and I removed the 6 because that was the highest result.
I will say that this will be a partial success. I'm happy to use another one of Atticus's story points to try for better. Because
Or I could use my story point that I just got refunded back.
Atticus has plus 12. I just rolled really badly.
That's fair then.
So
Because I only have a plus 7.
so I'm going to use a story point going. Yeah, I rolled like a 1 and a 3.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just a particularly awful roll, essentially. Let's try again. Okay, how about a 9, making that 21 total?
Okay, yeah, that'll work. That's a critical success.
Pretty much. So Atticus is able to use, because Atticus has done art stuff and that involves understanding perspective and, you know, this sort of order. So Atticus basically steps forward and is like, there. That's the rough area it should be in. Pointing to a distant corner of the structure, basically. It's farther down and further out. Clearly, it's like deliberately as far away as possible to make it harder to reach.
Yes.
But you could, in theory, basically beeline for the nearest edge of the structure and then beeline for the corner and then take another lift down. And that should be the shortest route, essentially.
Alright, we do that.
Do you want to relay this to the Emperor, who obviously has no idea what's going on?
I do relay this to the Emperor in as good of terms as I can so as not to overwhelm his primitive mind.
Do you want to tell me what you're going to say? And I might make you do a roll for that.
Basically, what I'm going to say is the elixir is held very far away, but through this mystical projection, which acts as a sort of map, it allows us to decipher the shortest possible route that we will be taking.
And you do for me. It whenever you're doing a conflict, whether it's mental or physical, so like a charisma check basically, or
Yes.
it will always be presence, and
Presence, which is a
convince.
5.
Presence and convince versus the target's resolve and conflict, basically. Basically,
Well, I have a plus 10.
yeah, basically whether or not they can figure out you're fucking with them.
I rolled a 6 and a 5 for a total of 21. Beat that.
Yeah, it was only a 12. You're fine.
I am very much making up for my bad roll in the last roll, which was a 1 and a 1 with a 6 and a 5.
The Emperor fully believes you and is like, so, can you decipher the path? Which way should we go?
I basically relay everything that Atticus relayed to me.
Atticus is going to, at this point, stop and is actually going to like go over to you, since obviously you're the Jade Emperor and everyone else is merely your attendant, and is going to whisper in your ear, I think this base is abandoned. I think it's running on auto, and as a result, we might trip their security systems.
I incredulously, like, you know, as Jade Emperor would, incredulously go, well, how do we avoid that?
Right, who was that saying that to?
Atticus.
Atticus.
Like, basically, this is a storage unit. No one's manning it.
Shit.
It's almost worse that we might have to deal with automatic systems rather than real people.
You can't
I
talk
would've
down a security system, yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
preferred to talk down the Silurians.
If we had real, Silurians, then I could at least talk our way out of this. But
No,
you-
I'm whispered back to Atticus. I'm
Yeah.
like, are there no technicians on standby to make sure that everything runs the way it's supposed to?
I'll do Atticus doing a quick history check on that for you.
Hey, Dusk, you're good at hacking, aren't you? You hacked the grades and all. Can't you like hack into their security system from here?
I'm gonna damn sure try.
It was
Say
a
that
there
over
was a
telepathy,
1,
by
but
the
it
way.
was a 16. I'm going to say it's only a partial success, basically, as a result.
Yeah.
But Atticus is like, I think the safest thing we can do is take a path that avoids any specimens that could be harmful, if that makes sense.
Anything that the system could release upon us to impede our path.
It's going to take me a little bit to work out the best route. Just try to relay that to the Emperor while I work this out. And
I
Atticus
relate
goes
to the
back to
Emperor.
the map.
I relate to the Emperor. So, I have just been informed that the shortest route is also the most dangerous. We are now trying to plan out a safer route for your benefit.
The Emperor is very pleased to hear that.
You are not currently immortal, and the entire objective of this is to bring you to the Elixir of Immortality without you dying along the way.
I'm
And
going
also with as little, direct interference as we can.
Atticus only has 2 points left. Is everyone comfortable using one more to make sure this is a good roll?
I'll use one of mine.
You're going to offer to give... You can do that. You can offer to give one
Yes.
over. Okay, you'll use up one of yours. Okay.
Hold on, Sky. How many do you have?
I'll go down to 1, but I don't care.
I have 3.
Like I said, I don't care. I don't
Okay.
care about my sword points as much.
I do mostly just because of how unlucky I am.
You specifically have less than other people because you took more distinctions in character creation as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So everybody else started with 5.
Oh my god, I'm glad I rolled with advantage. There were 2 1s.
Oh!
Oh my gosh.
But the others were 3 and 5, making that a total of 20.
Oh!
Hmm.
Natural 20.
Well, dirty 20 is what it's generally called.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Natural 20 would be a double 6. So...
I mean, yeah, double 6 with a plus 10 would be a natural 20.
I will not only say that's a success, I'm going to write down that's actually an experience point that Atticus is going to gain for.
Yay, Atticus!
Do.
Atticus is now our co-navigator.
Basically able to navigate maps, specifically, yeah.
Atticus is now our co-navigator.
Yeah. Anyway, so... Atticus is able to show you a route. In fact, Atticus is asks someone to come over who can use the interface, if possible. Does someone want to volunteer to do that?
I mean, I can do that, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm the hacker.
Coordination and subterfuge, please.
With 3 dice?
Sure. I'll allow it.
3 dice, and that was coordination and subterfuge.
Mm.
That is a plus 8 with 3 dice. 5, 4, 4, total of 21.
Mm-hmm. Together, you're able to plot out the route. It literally shows up as a red line. It's a little circuitous, and there's a lot of going, zigzagging down corridors and stuff like that. But it's not too bad.
So does this mean my experience is now a triple experience?
No, it only happens once.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you would just take advantage of that as a player.
That's fair.
You would just keep going. Can I hack a thing? Can I hack a thing? Can I hack a thing? Basically. Very
I hadn't
confusing.
even thought of that, honestly.
Mm.
I don't know what a double experience even is.
It just means it's worth 2 points when you're cashing them in later. When you're
cashing them in.
Yeah, when you're cashing them in to upgrade your character or getting equipped or something.
Oh, I don't know any of. Sure.
We'll go over it another time. Don't worry.
Mhm.
Anyway, you have a route, and you're even able to program it in such a way that it actually is a projection that now follows the group as you're walking. So you can.
What was that?
You basically got the projection will now follow you as you're walking through the base.
We have a portable map now.
Yeah, because basically they've got projectors all around the storage unit to clearly help people find things when they want to, So, yeah, you are good to go. Basically, who wants to take the lead?
I mean, I think it should be the Jade Emperor.
All right. Do you want to basically offer the Jade Emperor the map and the ability to go first?
No, I meant the Jade Emperor.
Oh, sorry, you should go first. Sorry. I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Yep, continue.
I lead!
All right. Is there going to be an order, or are we just going to generally follow the Jade Emperor?
I'll bring up the rear.
Okay, so
I was going to say Danny would bring up the rear, but
I'll
it
I
actually
think
makes more sense for Danny to be in the middle.
I think
mean,
the
you can
Emperor.
both bring up the rear, and the Emperor can just follow directly behind me.
I'd say like the corridor is wide enough for you to be two aside.
Yeah. So me and the Emperor will be walking side by side. You two will be walking side by side, and then Atticus will be sandwiched in between all of us, so that we effectively form the symbol of the 5 on a 6-sided die.
I would like all of you to roll me some awareness and intuition checks, please. This is basically passive perception as you're walking through the storage unit.
You said awareness
Awareness and
and
intuition.
intuition?
Oh,
Shit, that's only a +4.
17 with a 6.
I
9
got
with a 3 and a 2.
15 with a 6.
Liaris, how was yours?
9 with a 3 and a 2.
Okay, so aside from, ironically, the Jade Emperor, everyone did quite well.
My awareness and intuition are just shit.
Yeah, well, that's what experience points are for.
Yeah, we'll see about
I'm also doing the Emperor himself. He's a little bit better than the Jade Emperor. Basically, ironically, the people at the front are the worst at taking in what's going on around them.
Don't worry, the people at the back have your 6.
Something's gonna sneak up behind us.
So as you travel down the corridors...
I don't think we're really worried about things sneaking up behind us. I think we're worried about a giant monster appearing in front of us and us just literally walking into it.
It would have been better if me and Danny were split up between the front and the back.
Well, too late now.
Right.
So,
Too late now!
to be fair, Atticus did also roll really well. Rolled, what was it? 9 plus... 17 in total. as
Oh,
well.
good. He's middle of the pack, so he'll help.
Yeah. So, basically, you and the Emperor are kind of overwhelmed by how much stuff there is, if that makes sense. Like, there's just
That makes a lot of sense.
so many plants all around you, so many creatures that you're not even sure you recognize from human history.
Sensory override. It's basically what happened when I went to my first con.
Yeah.
I would like to change something.
Overload.
Sure.
If there's lots of plants around, Nia will be very distracted looking at them. I would like to, like, I don't know, make that prior roll retroactively at disadvantage or somehow worse.
Roll again and take the worst result.
That makes sense.
Well, what did I get before? I don't remember.
It
One
was,
of them
it
was-
was high, just roll again.
I was gonna do the same thing, but I can't.
It's fine, you rolled shit anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, because I rolled the exact same thing again.
I ended
So
up
if anything, it'll just be an 8
Anyway,
instead of a 9.
Laura, go ahead.
getting a 10 that time.
Okay. So basically, only Atticus and Danny have any good perception. Everyone else is too sensory overloaded.
Nia started to have good perception and then she noticed
Sensory
the
overload, that's what it is.
Yeah.
and
So,
got a bit distracted.
for those who are too distracted, it's like stepping into the deep storage of an IKEA warehouse. The containment units go way above your head, like 100 feet up.
Ark of the Covenant place thing from Indiana Jones.
Like, it's perfectly organized with cells basically in stasis with glass paneling, so you can see. Well, not glass; it's like ice essentially, because
so
obviously
it's nothing like Warehouse 13.
But it's basically like massive ice cubes stacked on top of each other, perfectly preserved.
So similar to the episode in Adventure Time when they go to the alternate universe where the Lich and Icefin have just been stacking all of the humans on top of each
Could you
other.
do a very quick awareness and survival check, everyone?
Oh,
It's gonna be a
that
plus
one.
6.
I'm
Ooh,
going
a 6 and a
to
1.
I'm going to use my last story point, and I'm going to roll with advantage because
I will
don't
say
like what I
now,
rolled.
you don't have to. This is not really important. It's just checking a thing. Like,
I got a 6 and a 1 with a total of 13.
okay,
15.
I won't roll. I got a 12.
that's still fine. Like, the main thing is you don't feel cold walking through the corridor. So clearly, like, there's like a layer of heat just in front of it to prevent you from freezing.
Passive perception check.
Hmm.
Natural 20, let's go.
But the main
These
thing,
motherfuckers mean
the thing
how
is,
much.
yes. Anyway, you can tell there's like a very thin film of like, I don't know, some sort of electricity or some current basically running just outside the blocks, so that like the corridors themselves are room temperature, if that makes sense. But
Insulation, but you can see through it.
however, if you were to try to touch one of the ice cubes, your hand would freeze to it instantly.
You're not getting that hand back.
Yeah, do not touch anything.
He's gonna lick one of them.
You'll lose your tongue.
You will at least lose the layer of skin at the top of your tongue.
Mhm.
And while that will heal relatively quickly, it will be immensely painful.
The Emperor is aware of this as well, by the way.
Okay, awesome.
Like, even though he doesn't understand the technology, he knows what ice is. And
Yes.
yeah, he knows that if there's this much ice here, it wouldn't be a good idea to get near it, basically.
He lives in China. It does snow there.
Yes, exactly. As you keep going, Essicus and Danny do notice something a little concerning.
Mm.
Some of the ice cubes are missing. Like, there's a gap where there should be a specimen. Because even if the cell is empty, there's still a block of ice there.
There are some ice cubes missing.
Yes, there's literally just empty space. Not even a puddle, just it's been emptied.
Someone's been here before. Do we know how? Can we tell how recently they've been?
Sure. Do me an ingenuity and intuition check.
Ingenuity, intuition.
It will only
And
be
I'm
for the
not
people who've
having to roll
noticed this, by the way. No one else can roll for this.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not having to roll this.
I'm going to roll an advantage because I got a 1.
Yep, sure. I got a 6 and a 1, so it's evened out for Atticus.
That will be a total of 13, please. No 6s, no 1s.
Atticus balanced out to 15, so you got about roughly the same. It's hard to tell because there's no evidence of like the leftover water vapor or anything. But if there's nothing, it was a while ago. Like, whatever is in there is out. Whether it's still in the storage unit or not, who knows?
But it probably isn't alive anymore. I mean, there's not much that could sustain it, right?
There would have been the water in the cell.
Shit. I'm at food.
I mean, if there was multiple things released, then they would have plenty of food in each other, and if they
Oh,
reproduce,
you're
that's a
right.
and if they reproduce, that's a miniature ecosystem, self-sustaining.
Please don't give Alo ideas.
You're saying this as if I hadn't already planned for this. So yeah, obviously between you and Atticus, you're going to at least telepathically tell the others this observation, I imagine.
My character is somewhat worried, but also somewhat excited.
Does everyone want to roll for me an ingenuity and survival check, please?
Well, at least try. I don't make any promises. That's only a +6.
We've got another dirty 20 from Atticus. This is like Atticus's field.
Wow, I got double 6s.
Oh wow, what's your total?
What was it again? Awareness and survival.
Ingenuity and survival.
Ingenuity and survival. 17.
17. Well, to be fair, Atticus got a dirty 20 just because of a higher bonus.
I don't want to share what I roll.
Okay.
Neither do I, but I'll do it anyway. I've done another critical fail.
Fair enough.
Total of 9. I rolled a 1, 1, and 1,
I
2.
will also say it will be a +2 for you anyway, just because it's a biology-based thing.
Oh, okay, hold on.
But no, not for you. Sorry, for Laura, because it's like a botany kind of thing. Because obviously it's to
Botany,
do
not biology.
with... Yeah, sorry, I meant botany. Yeah, so that would make it a 19 basically. So if I was
got an 8.
fair, you can conclude that based on the number of cells missing, there might be a thriving ecosystem down here.
Oh, fascinating. I wonder if there are any herbivores or if they're solely carnivorous.
I will grant you an experience, by the way, for that.
Nice.
So you gain an experience for identifying potential ecosystems, basically.
Okay.
It's a very powerful ability to like understand your surroundings, essentially, in terms of the living conditions.
I'm putting it in the secret channel, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fine. That's why it's
You have
fun.
unlocked passive perception as a stat.
Basically, it's a specific kind of passive perception, but yes. Anyway, I will tell you this. You now all should roll awareness and intuition, but with advantage for free because you're away to be looking out for this now. And this is keeping an eye out if there's something, alive down here.
Awareness, intuition, when you say with advantage, does that mean I roll 4?
Yes, you roll 4.
I got a total of 17 with a 6.
Total of 15 with a 6.
I'm also kind of glad I was advantaged because two of my dice was also a 1.
I got 2, 4, 5, 6, so with the 6 and the 5 plus 4, that's 15.
I got 16 with a 6.
Alright. Ashkus also got like a 15.
Did he get a 6?
No, 4 and a 3.
He's the only one who hasn't rolled a 6.
Yeah, but to be fair, this just means that all of you notice what's going on. You start being able to notice that there are plants growing around, like at the very peripheries of some of the storage units. Because remember, if they touch the ice, they die instantly, basically. So there's some pockets of plant life, like various different plant lives, and the closer you get towards the elevator, the thicker the brush gets.
Every time Nia sees something new, she goes over and takes a sample, and they have to drag her away.
Nia,
Danny is just dragging Neo away.
Nia, with advantage for free, I need you to do a awareness and science check with biology with the botany bonus.
Okay, so advantage is that 3 or 4?
4. You roll 4.
It is 4. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. 2 5s and 2 1s.
Well, that's definitely good that you did it with a. All right.
Okay, so what is it? Awareness and science botany?
Yeah, awareness and science botany, yes. So with a plus
22.
22.
Yeah.
Some of this is deadly poison ivy.
That's fascinating. I'm definitely going to be taking some sample.
I assume carefully. You're not going to just touch it with your bare hands.
I'm not
Danny...
Mau Mau from the Apothecary Diaries.
Yeah. However, it starts getting so thick that you realise that the path that you've made isn't going to work. It's filling an entire corridor. Like, the entire floor of a path you want to walk down is nothing but deadly ivy.
So effectively what you're saying is the safest path is now the most dangerous path.
Could I use my plant knowledge to somehow come up with a sort of rapid weed killer, as much as it pains me to say?
If you want to do that, I will allow it. It would be ingenuity and science botany.
Evil.
If
Yeah,
you want, Liaris, you could do the same, but you would do it for your biology instead.
Okay, so ingenuity, science, biology. That's 7, 8, 9. It's a plus 9. I got a 1 and a 3 for a 13.
Okay.
20.
Blimey. Okay.
With no 6s or 1s.
You think you could produce a weed killer using the other species of plants that have also started growing? It will take a little bit, but you could do it. It would probably take you about, 10 minutes, basically.
Okay, that's...
With, a pestle and mortar, grinding it up, add a bit of water, that sort of thing. You should be able to make some sort of fine spray that should work as a fast-acting weed killer.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to do that so long as people don't mind waiting for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if people are happy to, yeah.
Considering we'll die if we don't, or have to take a more dangerous route, yeah.
While
and I'm going to relay this to the Emperor.
Waiting for everyone else, please roll me awareness and intuition. Everyone except Nia. because Nia is focusing on this.
I have not made very many good rolls with these two stats. And that's a 2 and a 5 for an 11.
It's not bad.
That's one of my dice was cocked, so I'm going to re-roll
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
And I wish I didn't because it rolled worse.
Oh boy. Okay. If you want to use story points, you can.
I don't have any more story points.
I mean,
She's
someone can
out.
gift some.
Can I gift her a story
You're
point?
too busy focusing on your task.
Oh.
I rolled a 13 anyway, so you know.
Okay, Liaris,
I rolled an 11 with a 2 and a 5.
do you want to use a story point for a reroll for someone, or
Sky, what's your bonuses?
Total of 7.
You're a total of 7, I'm a total of 4. Yeah, take a story point.
I think actually I'm gonna retroactively say don't bother. I was just double checking the math for Atticus. It was a 17 with a 6,
Okay.
so that's pretty high.
So we're not dead in the water.
No, it's fine. Both you and Danny feel off. Atticus, meanwhile, grows pale and indicates, in the opposite direction to the ivy, a stretch of plants that have been pressed down by a very large footprint.
What made that?
And on that,
Dinosaur?
I'm going to call the session.
How dare you.
Oh.
I think that's the perfect cliffhanger to end it on.
How dare you? But it does also mean that we stop at 4 like I was hoping.
I'm going to just stop the recording now.